if I got to do that to, if I got to sell my soul, if I got to do this to get bigger, I'm just not that dude. And I don't have anything against other brothers that did it. If you notice, I'm not bringing up no names because I know they all did it for their reasons. That's just not my style. That's just not something I'm doing. That it was about to be the end of the Jamie Foxx show. You get what I'm saying? Because the same thing, it's a good problem that he had in his life. Because the problem he had was the same problem that Will had.
You being around Diddy back then, you know anything about, his relationship with Jamie Foxx?
Yo, the relationship Diddy had with Jamie Foxx, well, I met Jamie Foxx on the tour bus. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, we was at, oh my God, it slipped my mind where we was at, but they was on some friendship stuff, and it was a tour bus, and Puff was in the back, and there was a lot of girls in the front, and Jamie was just real touchy-feely.
When Alex Thomas sat down for an interview, people expected funny Hollywood stories, not this. Because instead of the usual jokes and behind-scenes laughs, Alex ended up spilling the truth about his fallout with Jamie Foxx. And it wasn't pretty. It all started back on the Jamie Foxx show. For Alex, that gig was a dream come true. He said it didn't even feel like work. Every day felt like showing up to a comedy club where all your best friends were hanging out. He already knew everyone on set. Jamie's manager, the producer, Bentley Evans, and even Marcus King. These weren't strangers. They were family.
I knew Jamie from the days of when he was on In Living Color. I was one of those, put it this way, I was with Jamie the night he got out of valet, out of his, I want to say it was a 1988 240ZX, got out in valet to walk in to audition for In Living Color. I was there the night when he did 5 minutes and got a standing ovation, and the next day he was a member of In Living Color. So I was kind of there from the beginning of the journey with him. I like to tell people, I was there from his $1,500 a month apartment till his $27 million mansion. And I'm so proud of him because he's one of those dudes that never forgot where he came from. We always stayed close. We stayed tight. It was like working with your friend every episode. And you gotta understand, it's the similarities between the Jamie Foxx show and the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I wasn't on the Jamie Foxx show at the beginning. It was the last 2 or 3 seasons, 4 seasons, something like that. And it was incredible. A lot of people say, hey man, they didn't even really start watching as much until all of us came in Jingles 2000, you know what I mean? Me, Miles, Curtis, all the guys, you know what I mean? So it was his homies. And we literally just had fun every episode.
But then came the fallout. Alex said it all happened toward the end of the Jamie Foxx show. The cast had heard rumors that the show was wrapping up. The final few episodes were being filmed, and everyone knew Jamie was about to make the same jump Will Smith made from sitcom star to full-blown movie star.
And the falling out with me and Jamie, it was one of the weirdest situations of my career. It was like my first real dilemma of, oh my God, what am I gonna do? This is a blessing, but another blessing just happened to come on the phone. You know what I mean? So long story short, it was the end of the Jamie Foxx show. Like, we got wind that this is about to be the last episode or few episodes. So yeah, so in a nutshell, I was a regular on the Jamie Foxx show, right? And I forgot, I stopped counting how many episodes I was on, but there were some huge episodes that I was on. And I wanna say, I got the call from Dr. Dre maybe with 2 episodes left. But we knew that it was about to be the end of the Jamie Foxx show. You get what I'm saying? Because the same thing, it's a good problem that he had in his life. Because the problem he had was the same problem that Will had. Okay, you have become so big now that it's now time for you to be a movie star. So exact same thing what happened with Will Smith, and I was there. I got to see it. I was sitting in the dressing room when they walked in the script for Independence Day for Will. You get what I'm saying? Like, this dude's about to go from here, right, to out of here. You know what I mean? And that's why cut to Independence Day ended up being one of the biggest movies of all time at that time. That dude was literally ready to become a super box office star. It was time for him to move up. You know, it's almost like in comedy where you go from clubs to auditoriums to theaters to arenas to stadiums. It was like that for them. So in Jamie's case, it was basically the end of the show.
That's when Alex got the call that would change everything. Dr. Dre, yes, that Dr. Dre called out of nowhere and said, "I'm about to go on tour. I want you to host it." Alex was confused, but he went along with it.
He goes, "I want to do something that had never been done before." And I was like, "What is that?" He's like, "I want a comedian to host a huge hip hop tour. It's gonna be the biggest tour of all time." And I was like, "Oh, really? Who's gonna be on it?" He's like, "Man, Ice Cube, you know, NWA, you know, there'll be Snoop Dogg, the East Siders, you know, Warren G, Dub C, and the new kid, his name is Eminem." And I'm like, Eminem was fresh, brand new, but blowing the hell up. I'm like, "Oh, this sounds like this gonna be huge." He's like, "Man, 30,000 seats, every single city in America. I want you to host this." I was like, "Okay, so when are you starting?" He like, "Thursday." I was like, "Thursday?" Thursday? He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "I'm on a TV show, Dre." He's like, he just cut straight to it. He's like, "How much that paying you? What you getting paid a week?" And at that time, the Jamie Foxx show was big for me. I was getting $5,000 an episode, right? For a young up and coming dude. This is, you know, 20 something years, 25 years ago. I'm like, "I gotta get it." He was like, "I'll double that." I was like, "So what time am I going on stage Thursday?" "How long is the drive?" "Where is the first city?" And the first city was Chula Vista. I'll never forget. Chula Vista, San Diego. And now I have a dilemma. And my dilemma is, the bottom line is, no concert on the planet is bigger than any TV show. All right? I don't care how big your concert is. TV show hits whatever. Hundreds of millions of people all over the world. You get what I'm saying? But I had to weigh it out, man. 2 more weeks of $5,000, or damn near make $500,000, $300,000-$400,000, the most I've ever made in my life, on a 40-city tour around America. You do the math.
He took the gig, and that's when everything between him and Jamie started to crack. Alex left the Jamie Foxx show abruptly to join the Up and Smoke tour, a move that shocked everyone on set. To many, it looked like he abandoned the show right before the end. But to Alex, it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. He said the tour changed his life. It was the most money he ever made. It led to his first house and even landed him a role in the movie The Washington. But Jamie Foxx, he didn't take it well.
I went out there, killed it on stage in front of 30,000 people. He's like, "You ain't even got an audition. You got a role." So not only was it the most money I'd ever made doing stand-up on a rock star level, but now I got a movie out of it and I bought a brand new house. Jamie was upset, like, you know, because I became really a part of the Jamie Foxx show. But he ended up understanding.
Alex admitted it was a weird moment in his career. His first real dilemma, because on one hand he respected Jamie, but on the other he had to think like a businessman. And when the math came down to 2 more episodes or a career-changing tour, the choice was obvious. Still, Jamie didn't see it that way. Not at first. According to Alex, things between them got tense, and what happened next only made it worse. Somewhere around the 25th stop of the tour, Jamie Foxx showed up unannounced. He'd heard the stories how Alex was hosting the biggest hip-hop tour in America, how he was making more money than ever, and how his name was starting to buzz on his own. And when Jamie saw it with his own eyes, 30,000 people screaming while Alex owned the stage, he was shocked.
30,000 people. I ripped the roof off that joint, and he was proud of me. He's like, "Hey man, you stood up, you had to do what you had to do." You know what I mean? And basically that was squashed. It never came to like F you or F you and I don't like you, you ain't. No, it was a business move I had to make. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, and I've never told anybody this. I believe that if I was a part of the Jamie Foxx show from the beginning. And we were like, had guaranteed 4 more seasons on the WB, I would have said no. I would have had to respectfully say no to Dr. Dre, right? Because TV's bigger than me going anywhere live. You get what I'm saying? But things happen for a reason. Ended up being the biggest tour in hip hop history. And at that time, it was the biggest DVD in hip hop history. I had did something that had never been done. No comedian was going on stage in front of 30,000 people every night. You understand? The most I had went up in front of was when I would open up for Damon Wayans or Mark Curry or Jamie Foxx back in the day, 5,000. 5,000 was a great sellout for any comedian in the early, like in the 90s. But for me to go from 5,000 people to 30,000 people, do you understand how huge that was? And then you gotta understand, I tell people like this, I'm the only one on the show every single night in every city in America that the people did not come to see. My name wasn't on the bill. You saw Eminem, you saw Dr. Dre, you saw Snoop, you saw Ice Cube, you saw Warren G, you saw the East Siders, you saw Mac 10. They didn't put me on the billing, but it was a great surprise to the audience, because even Dre and Snoop came up to me one night and they were like, cuz, you killing it, cuz. Like, they know you, cuz. I was like, no, I got a little startled myself.
Alex said the tension didn't turn into a full-blown fight, but it changed everything between them. From that point on, things were never the same. Jamie had gone from being a big brother figure to someone who treated him like competition. And for Alex, that was the part that stung. He'd looked up to Jamie, been there since in living color, supported him through his rise. But one career move was all it took to make Jamie turn on him. In interviews, Alex never badmouthed Jamie outright, but the frustration was obvious. He called it one of the weirdest experiences of his career. That moment when loyalty clashed with opportunity. He said if the show had been guaranteed for more seasons, he would have stayed, but it wasn't. And in Hollywood, every show ends eventually. You're only as good as your next gig, Alex said. Still, fans couldn't ignore how this story painted Jamie Foxx in a different light. To some, it sounded like Jamie couldn't handle someone else from his circle shining without him. And to others, it proved what many insiders had quietly whispered for years. Jamie Foxx might be talented, but he doesn't always play nice when the spotlight shifts. This is something Gene Deal has also corroborated, saying Jamie Foxx isn't what he seems to be, especially considering his close friendship with Diddy.
This is something Gene Deal has also corroborated, saying Jamie Foxx isn't what he seems to be, especially considering his close friendship with Diddy.
You being around Diddy back then, you know anything about, his relationship with Jamie Foxx?
Yo, the relationship Diddy had with Jamie Foxx, well, I met Jamie Foxx on a tour bus. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know, we was at, oh my God, it slipped my mind where we was at, but they was on some friendship stuff, and it was a tour bus, and Puff was in the back, and there was a lot of girls in the front, and Jamie was just real touchy-feely, but Puff didn't come out the back. I don't know if Puff came out the back of the tour bus. You understand? And Jamie went back there for a minute or so, then he just came out, and he was all touchy-feely with the girls, and I'm looking at this dude like, wow, this dude kind of like touchy-feely with these girls, and he don't even know them. They know him because he's Jamie Foxx, but he didn't know them, so I don't really know their real relationship or how close they was. I didn't meet Jamie Foxx and really have a conversation with him until I was at his house, and I was with Scott Storch. So I don't know how close they was and how close they wasn't. But when I met and I had a conversation with Jamie Foxx, it was about, he was talking about people coming out there to California in show business, and the rappers and the singers and stuff like that, and they get connected with the gang members, and the gang members have a whole different ideology. And he was telling us that people mess up when they get with the gang members, because their ideology and what they want out of them is totally what they looking for, whether you use them for security or whatever. And then this time we was at his house and Scott Storch was doing some beats and doing some music for him. And I was playing pool. And the dude told me, say, yo, I was playing Jamie Foxx up. And he said, yo, let me just tell you something. If you beat him, especially on his table, and I wasn't no hell of a pool player. I was damn good. I was good, but I was no hell of a pool player. I'm sitting up there playing. The dude said, yo, man, if you beat him, you gonna have to beat him all night. Or he ain't gonna let you go home. I said, what do you mean he ain't gonna let me go home?
That's right. Gene Deal claimed that Jamie would ask him to stay for the night if he took a liking to him.
And me and Scott had been out all day, so I scratched on the 8-ball, and he called that a win. So I said, good, all right, I scratched on the 8-ball. I did that shit on purpose so we could leave. But him and Diddy relationship, and I see what they saying about what happened, and I really want to hear the full story about what's going on with him and Diddy, and if he really said, and it showed that Diddy, poisoned him, or he's the reason why he got sick that night. I want to hear that for myself, but I know it's trending on the internet, but I don't know how true it is. I don't know their relationship as far as other than he was cool enough to get on the tour bus, fill up the girls and go to the back room and chill with Diddy, then come out, fill up the girls and leave. That's all I know.
And you said him and Diddy was being touchy with the females?
No, he was. Diddy already had some female in the back in the tour bus, and Jamie Foxx got on the bus like he owned it, like it was his. So I know he had a conversation with Puff before he got on the tour bus. You understand what I'm saying? I know he had a conversation because he wouldn't have got on the tour bus unless he had that conversation with him. He wouldn't be able to go to the back unless he had a conversation with him.
Alex Thomas didn't mean to expose that side of Jamie, but it caught on, and many people started coming out talking about how Jamie was actually secretly gay thanks to the way Hollywood had controlled him and abused him. It seems that after years of speculation, the truth is starting to become a lot clearer.
How you feel about the gay rumors surrounding Jamie Foxx?
What I think about the gay rumors is that's Hollywood, man. You know what I'm saying? That's how they get to the top. I've said it 1,000 times, man. The people that indulge and make that type of behavior common, like they don't have a problem with it, putting on the dresses, you understand? Acting as if they a woman, taking those type of roles. When they show those people that they are capable of doing that, they're capable of doing anything. And that's how they get their rise into their fame in Hollywood.
Alex Thomas himself has been in Hollywood long enough to know that success always came with strings attached. But even he wasn't ready for what hit his phone one afternoon, a 6-figure movie offer from one of the biggest directors in the game. The only problem, the role was gay.
Have you ever been offered a gay role?
Wow, that's crazy you asked that. That actually happened to me right after we came out of COVID. And I'd always heard about this. You always hear about, in Black Hollywood, you ain't made it until you either play a gay role or you get offered a gay role. And I'm like, oh my God, it has finally happened to me. So I get a call from my agent one day, and he was just like, Alex, a huge offer just came across my desk. Huge movie, a lot of money, huge director, and I just had to run it by you. I was like, cool, so what is it? He's like, well, I do want to just let you know up front, it's a gay role. And before I even get into it, would you play a gay role? And I told him respectfully, no. Just nothing against gay people. I have gay friends, gay family. I know gay people, but just personally, that's just not something I'm trying to do. I have 2 young Black sons, and I'm their example, and that's just not something I want to do, right? He goes, respectfully. He goes, but can I ask you a personal question? I said, yeah, no problem. He said, what is it about Black men or the Black culture? Why are you guys so homophobic? And I'm like, well, I can't speak on behalf of everybody else. I'm just speaking on behalf of myself. It's not something I want to do as a Black man with 2 young Black sons. You know what I mean? And a beautiful wife and a daughter. That's just not something I want to portray.
But the pushback came quick. His agent asked him why Black men were so homophobic, like it was about hate. when really, Alex said it was about image and culture. When you play a certain role as a black man, you become that forever. He explained, "You're not acting anymore. That's who they see you as." He used Alfonso Ribeiro, also known as Carlton from Fresh Prince, as the perfect example.
Alfonso Ribeiro, Carlton, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. One of the greatest roles in TV history, right? Made millions and millions of dollars off this role. One of the most famous actors in the world off that one character, right? But to black folks, he is Carlton to the day he dies. Can I get an amen?
Amen. Facts.
So I'm gonna give you the example of what I'm talking about. So as far as Alfonso Ribeiro, we all know Alfonso Ribeiro could be in the next Avatar movie. No, Alfonso Ribeiro could be in the next Black Panther. And you know what black folks will say, right? Black people will be like, "You see that Carlton in the new Black Panther movie?" Yeah, Carlton done went from Bel-Air to Wakanda. That boy Carlton, he cold-blooded, right? And I say, it just be my luck, Art, that I say yes, and I agree to do Broke Black Mountain 3. And now I'm just known to the whole black world as the gay black cowboy that got a train pulled on him up in the mountains by the Indians. Now I'm just known as Raheem, you know? And now I gotta deal with, I'm out in public with my two sons, black folks coming up to me like, oh, hey T, there go Raheem. Hey Raheem, hey, you killed it in that movie, bro. Hey, hey man, them Indians blew your back out up in them hills. But they tore your ass out the frame, bro.
It was funny, but behind the joke was something serious. How easily Hollywood could turn a single role into your identity, especially if you're black. And when Alex found out the role came with a 6-figure check, he still said no. Money don't mean nothing if you lose yourself. He said, integrity don't come with a price tag. That moment, turning down a dream check for a boundary, reminded people of another Hollywood survivor who couldn't say no to playing the game, Jamie Foxx.
That were constantly engaged to come and party with Jamie because everyone knows he likes transgender women. He went after my Gigi. Want to know when we met all up together, when they met my Gigi?
Go ahead.
At a party at Park. It was the second inauguration for the Obamas, and I was there as a guest at the party, like I was at the first inauguration. And I brought Gigi with me, and Jamie had his eye on her. And Breon asked me if it was cool. And I said, everybody here is grown. Gigi was quite catnip. I mean, if you look at her, she's amazing. But I never let her fake it. I never let her pretend to be a woman. But I always insisted that she behaved like one. The transgender girls that I took care of and I looked after who were in the business or worked with the business or clients held in the business, I always demanded that they think highly of themselves. They had keys to my house, so on the nights where they couldn't go home and they didn't trick enough money, they didn't have to keep tricking, you know? Come to the house. Food will be on the stove. Don't die tonight. Because a lot of them end up in dumpsters. So yeah, you know, Jamie done a lot. The naked basketball games that he hosted. I mean, everybody knew. And there's no point in me hiding it now because his fate has been sealed.
And that's where Alex's story hits a nerve, because for every star who made it out clean, there are 10 who didn't. When Alex Thomas talked about the casting couch, he didn't flinch.
Do you believe in a casting coach?
I've heard all about it. I've been on, I couldn't even lie to you, thousands of casting couches, because that's just part of being in this business. Oh, and yes, it's real. But I think the thing that saved me is because I'm a real LA dude first. That counts for a lot. You gotta understand, I'm in a business where 95% of all my peers came from other places. Let's just stick with comedy. So many dudes, I don't have to mention their names, you know them all. They all came from other cities to come to Hollywood to get rich and famous. I always like to say, they flew here, I grew here. You understand? So my set of morals and where I came from kind of shifted and applied to when I got to Hollywood. Like a question I get a lot is, how you been in Hollywood all these years and never get caught up in the whole drugs and alcohol and all that crazy stuff, right? Simple answer, man. I had people that overdosed in my family. I grew up in South Central LA. I saw how cocaine was killing families and you know, whole households, and I had it in my family. I had people that overdosed. The last thing I'm gonna do is when I got to Hollywood, do some that can kill me.
Then he explained something that hit deeper. Weak men and weak women get tested in Hollywood. They'll test you to see how bad you want it. And for those who give in, it's a trap. Sure, some people sleep their way to the top, but it never lasts. You might make it for a minute, Alex said, but you'll get used, run through, and replaced. Happens every time.
So you don't just get ran up and ran through. Because I've seen a lot of girls go that route. You know what I mean? Those chicks end up just getting f***ed over. Same thing with the dudes, and f***ed over. So it all depends on, you know, what route you're trying to go. A lot of people say that's probably why it took me so long. A lot of people say, man, maybe you would have been bigger if you hadn't went that route. Oh, well, I don't know, because I didn't go that route and I never will. So I don't feel bad about that. You know what I mean? I like having my integrity. I like being able to sleep at night and like, hey, God has a route and a plan for everybody. You know what I mean? And for the fact that it's over 30 years and I'm still here, fly, fresh, relevant, still in the game, doing what I love to do, never having to have a regular job, that's a blessing in itself.
So selling your soul in Hollywood, that's a real thing then, in a sense.
Oh, absolutely. 1,000%. 1,000%. And there's people that are willing to do anything. But see, you gotta understand, I'm one of those dudes back to, I was that little dude that even when I wasn't famous, even when I wasn't on TV, even when no one knew my name, I was always that dude that had a mouthpiece. And I know how to make the girls laugh and have a good time.
And it is quite sad how things have turned out for the likes of Jamie Foxx and black artists in Hollywood in general. Do you think there's an agenda against them? Let us know in the comments.